The only thing I could find that we could really tell
You gotta
that
talk to the old guys and they got dirt on me.
that was any good was Matt the Cat. Hey everybody, Kenny Hubbard with Razor Edge Productions. Tonight we're with Matt Johnson.
Thanks for having me.
Matt's a driver of many things, and what all you got in the stable, Matt?
The late model, we got 2 A mods and a 4-wheel drive pro stock pulling truck.
Doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we kind of started dipping into pulling 4 years ago, just something a little bit different because we were kind of burnt out of getting our stuff tore up on the circle track. But it's fun, but it's just a short, 8-second ride where you get 40, 50 laps in the car, so it's hard to stay away from the dirt track for sure.
Quite a bit different then. So Matt has always had the 1X. Where does the 1X come from?
So I started out with the 5J when I first started racing. Then I drove for some folks for a while in the city. When we got back to our own equipment, we went to the 1X number just for something kind of different, just to start fresh. And it worked good. We started winning races again and started having fun, so we just kind of kept with it.
I like it. It's everywhere Matt goes when them red cars come out of the trailer, stuff gets real serious. Matt's your 2009 MLRA Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I know that's
been that long ago, but it has.
Yeah, it's been that's been a while, but that's still. The guys you ran with to attain that was some pretty legit late model drivers following them guys around.
Yep.
What year did you start racing?
2001.
And what gave you the bug?
My dad raced when I was a little kid, and he did that for a few years, and then I got where I was driving sophomore in high school. We went to the racetrack some at Adrian and watched and kind of caught the bug again. And I was in Votech in Harrison at the time, so I built my own race car trailer in Votech, and then I had 6 cows. And I probably should have kept the cows, but I sold the cows and bought a race car from Tom Fordyce, so that's how we got the street stock. And then 20 years later, here we are.
Right. So how long was you in the street stock?
2 years, 01 and 02. We wrecked the car in 02 kind of hard and sold it to a guy, and Bert and Danny Scroggin kind of gave me the opportunity to drive one of their cars for that rest of that season. So I did that and purchased the car from them that fall. And then we've been in our own A-mod since then.
Ever since.
Yeah, so it's good. Danny and Bert really kind of helped me a lot go from a stock car to a modified, and we had the 4 9-inch gears back then, so I was wrestling those things around, and I was pretty young and hungry to go to different tracks, but it was a big learning curve from the stock car to the modified.
Yeah, I bet. So you was in an A-mod until
09,
and that's when you got the late model.
Yeah.
And you've had a late model and an A-mod off and on kind of since?
Yeah, so we had the late model from 09 to 2013. Had a couple different brands there, but 2014 I bought an A-mod again. That's all we had for quite a while. And then we bought this car from Dylan at the end of the last year. We sponsored Dylan a little bit. He let me drive the car at Wheatland, and it felt good to be back in one, and they kind of helped with some R&D stuff, so I ain't got to go race 10 nights a week to stay up to speed. And
right.
with them racing all the time, and Vinny Giuliani, the car's been pretty good. It's a little bit older chassis, but it's still
gets around
good.
the track.
Yeah.
So I was there that night. I got to watch that race. That was an awesome race.
Oh, Wheatland?
At Wheatland.
Yeah.
I think you finished 4th.
5th.
Was it 5th?
12th or 5th or something like that.
In that crowd of cars you were in, it cemented to me being at the track that Matt needed to be back in a late model.
I don't know. The track conditions fit me pretty good. I'm not a big cushion banger, but it took a little bit to kind of get back to use of the rack and pinion steering and the brakes, and because it's so much different than the stock frame modified. But once you kind of get the speed, it started to fit me pretty good. A few adjustments, and it was right there.
So you got back in the late model, and then you was able to win a couple local late model races.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Really, some guys made fun of me for going to it, but hell, we thought we were supporting local tracks and just having fun. So if they're gonna have supercars or A-mods or whatever, we went to Butler and Nevada with our stuff because we don't get to race that close to home very often.
Right, and we love it. I love it as a fan of yours. You know, when you're here at our local tracks, we love that. Everybody eats that up.
It's good for us because our family gets to go for once and our fan base comes out, so we like going local racing.
Right, and get to go close to home, not have to drive 2 hours away to go see everybody.
Yeah.
So that's something I hope you continue to do. Never mind the whiners.
Yeah, we're hoping to.
So your schedule for 24, are you going to be running A mod and late model?
So we're planning on selling one or two of the A mods. We just got too many things to try and maintain and keep up with. We're on the fence because the new Heartland Modified Tour's coming up this year, and they got some tracks that I like going to, so we might hang on to one and go to some of that. But we'll probably start out running mostly some MLRA shows. Wheatland's got over half the schedule, so it's hard to pass that up.
Right. And they got this late model revival tour coming.
Yeah, so I raced with McGee some down at Caney in the past, and they're good people, so we'll probably go to that Butler and Nevada swing for sure. I don't know how the rest of it jive for us. But.
Right, just see how it lines up. I'm real interested in that. It's nice to be having late model racing come back around.
I mean, it feels like to me it's getting popular again because there's not many places you can race A-mods weekly. So if you're going to travel and race for a purse, I mean, the Heartland series is going to help with that this year. But it seems like to me late models are making a comeback.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited to see both of those series at our local tracks.
I think they're going to do good because the A-mod guys don't really have much of a choice around here anymore because Lakeside quit running them, and I think Humboldt's every the week. That's a good track, and you got Wheatland and Winston, but that's about it.
Right. What? Excuse me. Championships.
My memory's not very good. That was a long time ago, but.
So in 04, you won the Adrian Track Championship.
It was 04, 05. We won it 1 year. I think it might have been 04. That's the first year we got out of the American Made and got into the Dirtworks car, and it was a 4-bar car, I think, 4-link, Z-link, something like that. It was kind of rared up and a handful, but it was fun.
Yeah. Well, that's a big feat for the kind of crowd that you're racing in that era of A-mod racing at Adrian Speedway.
Yeah, you had the who's who of A-mods at Adrian around then.
I mean, to win races there, to come out on a points championship, that's doing some driving for a pretty young driver.
Yeah, so that spring of 04, springtime tracks are a little muddy or whatever, but we come out won the first 3 features in a row. So we thought we were really doing something, and it got hot and dry and kind of slicked off. We were on the struggle bus from there, but good memories for sure. I miss racing at Adrian.
Yeah, it's a place a lot of guys wish we could have back.
You learn some good habits there, car control and feeling traction, but 20 years later, even me, I struggle at Lakeside just because it's so big and fast, and I grew up on a short little bull ring. It hurts you some places and helps you a lot of other places, I feel like.
Where all have you raced?
Oh my, we've probably raced 30 different racetracks pretty easily, I'm guessing. We've Wichita, Caney, Humboldt, Lakeside, Mayetta. There used to be a track in Minneapolis, Kansas, Salina, Oklahoma, Fort Smith, both tracks at Lebanon. I never did go to Urbana. I always wanted to race there, never got to. Wheeling, of course, Moberly, Winston. We've been to a few.
Been to quite a few.
Yeah.
What do if you think you had to pick one out as a favorite track or somewhere you got to go again?
I'd really like to race at Warrensburg again. It's kind of my style. It's on the hammer, but it's still a bull ring, so you got to kind of move around some. But we had a lot of good nights there racing.
It's a good track.
And it's tough. I mean, you had Earl always paid the best for the mods, so that's kind of where you went to go see how you stacked up. But you had Chad Lyle and the Lakeside guys always come over there, and had Bonies and Carrick and them guys, and you earned your stripes.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
That's something it seems like you followed competition. I mean, getting into this car and jumping in that late model race last year. I mean, the guys that was there, is that intimidating? Getting on the track with them guys? How do you feel about that?
Not intimidating. I'm just not used to qualifying, so you gotta hype yourself up quite a bit to go out there and jam 3 laps out as hard as you can
To try to get a decent qualifying
'cause
spot.
when I raced in '09, you just pill drive, and I like that because that's what we do at the model all the time. But it's just a mindset you have to get into with qualifying, and I'm not there yet. So we're hoping to time in better some this year. Because if you don't time in good, they only take top 4 of the heat. So if you're starting 3rd or 4th through it, you're gonna have a hard time passing people.
Right. Well, I love seeing you down there at them big shows when them guys come to town trying to fight your way in there. I hope that I get to see you do that this year.
We're looking forward to it.
That'll be a lot of fun. How many feature wins do you think you got?
I have no clue, to be honest. I'm not good at keeping track of that stuff.
We'll blame this on Sly. If I had somebody to blame that on earlier too, we'll blame this on Steve.
How many feature wins I got?
Yeah. He lost count, didn't he?
I just never. I mean, there was a while before I had kids. I got a lot of joy in just giving the trophies away to the kids on the fence. So,
When you're winning enough to do that says a lot, which I love.
I don't know if we won that much, but it seemed like we were always in the hunt for sure.
Well, it's awesome to give the trophy away to the kids.
Oh yeah,
so
I think them kids today might still remember me. I don't know, or remember that night. So.
Somebody told me a while back here that they have, I can't remember who it was, someone we know has a trophy that you gave them.
Probably, yeah.
That races now. I can't remember who it was. If you're on here, tell me about it.
Well, I want to know about the belt.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how does it feel to put that over your shoulder like a wrestler? Like, how cool
Yeah,
is that?
so at the end of the year, Mike Parker at Electric City started doing what's he call it, the West Central Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And 2-day race. This year, A-Mods ran Friday night and late models ran Saturday night.
Yeah.
Matt was there both nights and got to win a belt this year. I think you won one last year too, didn't you?
Yeah, we won the belt in the A-Mod race last year, and it's kind of funny, me and Charlie McCown we gave each other a hard time who was going to get to wear that belt home, and I got the rub in his face till this day. But we went last year hoping to get 2, and kind of thrashed to get our old A-Mod back here that we ran the years previous, because it's good, and we knew what to have down there. And had a little motor overside on an oil line we didn't get together good enough, so we kind of heard the motor there. And didn't let it get us down though. We knew we had a good piece for the next night, so we just come out there with guns blazing Saturday and had a good run.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I've never been that fast around Butler, to be honest.
That's fun to watch. That batch of dirt he put on there really changed that place.
Yeah.
Hopefully it continues to keep growing. It's a fun place to race, the shape of the track and everything.
Before he had it, it was kind of bottom dominant, but now it's early. You better be on the lip or you're gonna get passed.
You got to find something somewhere.
Right.
It's wide
Yeah.
enough now for plenty of lanes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is your favorite win? I got to call myself out. I got to quit saying so.
Favorite win, probably my first one, street stock at Adrian. Just you never forget your first one.
The very first one.
Yeah.
What's the biggest race you've won?
Biggest money or biggest prestige to me?
Biggest prestige, because it's not always the biggest money. You know, it may be
Right.
racing for $1,000, but you may have
Yeah.
everybody who's who there. So
So there towards the end of Adrian, we won the Vern Claver Memorial Race, and I've never seen a trophy that tall. It was probably almost 6 foot tall, and I still got it. But it was cool to do that. You know, win a race that has the Claver name on it. You have the other guys' names on it before you. So
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
wanna. So he still does that BDC Memorial
yeah,
at Butler now with the Midwest mods,
Right.
and they call it the Top Gun Shootout.
Yeah, that's what my
And,
trophy says on it.
That's on my list for me. That's a bucket race. I've run second in it to some really good cars,
Right.
and that's one I want to go get. And add my name on that list.
I mean, Andy's a legend in the modified world, so.
Yeah, been around racing a long time. It's cool to have, I feel pride in, his dad being on that trophy.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So you've won a belt. Is there any other kind of trophies that are not necessarily trophies that you've won aside from big checks?
No, we wanted to kind of go to Springfield and win a turkey, but we didn't have much luck. We've come close to winning there and get a flat or something, but just our schedule hadn't worked out. That'd be a cool one to get.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a big one. That's one of those that kind of the who's who of
Right,
each class is there. I mean,
It gets a ton of cars.
it's a 4-day, 5-day
Right.
deal. I mean, it's probably the biggest race in Missouri.
Yeah.
Even with the Nationals at Wheatland, I think the Turkey Bowl probably pulls more cars.
Yeah, an MLR show would be cool. US MTS race would be cool. We've won a lot of modified races, but it seems like when they come around, you figure out how slow you are.
They humble you real
Yeah,
quick.
absolutely, yeah.
They humble you. I really enjoy seeing you race with them guys, though. Like I said before, that's something that it makes me proud. When you're out there ripping 5th place out there with them guys in that late model.
Yeah.
That's our local guy out there doing that.
I didn't run very good at Wheatland until about 4 years ago, and I don't know if the dirt came to me, attracted or whatever, but we started having some luck there. So we're pretty lucky to have that type of racetrack so close to us too. So we try and go there if we can't go race somewhere else local, closer to home.
I want to flip over to pulling
All right.
for a second. So you did have a mini rod.
Yep. Sold it about 2 months ago.
Okay, so you just have the truck now.
Yeah, we're getting another tractor built for the NTPA circuit and PPL. We're gonna run a 4-engine modified next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's big news.
Yeah, so we got kind of tied in with the Leichners from Weldon, Illinois. That's who I bought the mini rod from. So they've still helped me a lot. I wouldn't be able to do any without them and my crew chief Tommy McCoy. So they talked me into selling the mini, and we're gonna do the 4-engine mod deal with them next year.
That's my favorite. I mean,
Yeah.
all that horsepower.
Yeah, it'd be roughly 12,000 horsepower sitting in front of you.
Woo,
Yeah.
woo! You're gonna get to unload that at the line. What is that? Is that your kind of right foot's waiting on that?
Well, it's all in your hand there. There's no feeder on the brakes. The throttle's in your hands, so it'll be a ride.
That'll be something else.
Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine unloading 12,000 horsepower. That's gonna be.
Yeah.
That'll be a sight.
I'm looking forward to it.
So where can we catch catch you pulling?
So Pro Pulling League's on MAV TV some. NTPA's got their own streaming channel, NTPA TV. So we're gonna try and do that schedule next year with the NTPA guys. They got 10 hooks at 5 tracks, so it's a 2-day show. So it's kind of long. It kind of makes sense when you're going 6 hours away. You at least pull 2 days in a row. So.
Right, and get some more more out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we run data loggers, so you're always trying to make passes and get information about your tune-up.
The more data you have, the
Yes.
better the next run is.
Right, it's kind of like drag racing with less practice.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
It sounds like fun.
It is. It's a big change for us, but it's kind of a breath of fresh air because, I can't race these things forever just because you lose your reflexes, but pulling's kind of an avenue where you can get some age on you and still compete and have fun. And you're not getting your doors and your wheels ripped off on the pulling track by some guy you got some trouble with or whatever. So
Right. You ain't got to worry about them
Right, but
spinning you.
it's a lot of traveling, so we're blessed to have this and something we can go do just to change the pace a little bit. So.
And with Matt travels, I think quite a bit as far as what I know. So it seems like for you sometimes it's hard to get to go racing or pulling.
Yeah, so we're a general contracting company that builds dry fertilizer buildings. So we travel pretty much east half of the U.S. We have 2, 3, 4 customers we work for, and it's hard to find a home fun balance, but we've been lucky to make it work. So you go out of town a few days a week and then come home and get the car ready and go race. And if it wasn't for Tommy, I would be able to do half of what we're doing for sure, because races are won in the shop, and if you're not in the shop working on it, you're not gonna be up front.
And that's hard to do when you're not home.
Right.
So I was gonna ask you, that's probably a good place to start with Tommy, is who do you have to thank along the way in your racing career that's helped hold you up, that, you know, when times were tough and you needed some information, or who's them guys you got to thank?
Definitely starting with Tommy. I grew up with him, same town, went to school together. He worked for a couple of the guys before me, Lancetown and guys racing, so he gained a lot of knowledge with them and fine-tuning me as a driver, and with subs now it's kind of made both of our worlds better. But growing up, when I grew up, I'd say we had some good mentors. I'm good friends with Alan Vaughn, David Turner, both them guys. Hung out with all of them quite a bit. Johnny's my age, so we grew. It was kind of felt like me and Johnny versus the older guys. But I always had a ton of respect for the older guys, but they didn't start out very amicable. It didn't feel like, 'cause, you know, had their little clique and we weren't in it. But you learn to respect them and race them hard, and I have good relationships with all them guys now, like Dennis Bunger and Eddie Bray and Tar Waterson. We're good, so they'll teach you where to be on the racetrack.
Right. Or move you to where they need you to be.
Right, yeah. If they didn't like the way you were racing, they'd tell you. So
To have that's something that speaks to me, is how much success you had at Adrian in the midst of these guys. It's almost hard to comprehend. I mean, because you're just 3 or 4 years in.
I'd say the advantage we had is that 4-bar cars were just starting pretty much whenever we got into A-mods, and all the older guys had 2-lane cars. So we started out in the 4-bar, and we learned how to work on them and make them fit us, and then them guys seemed like they had to play a little bit of catch up to get their 4-bar cars figured out after we were going.
Right. That makes sense.
Their timing worked in our favor for once.
Right.
Back then.
Right. So something I ask everybody is, if you was and you've got a couple new guys into racing that you help,
Yep.
and
I really enjoy that too.
that's a big deal, I think, to bring our youth, to bring other people in. That's part of what Shannon wants to do with, you know, what we're doing here is, who's Matt Johnson? You know, sit down and get to tell his story. You got a lot of fans around, and I think that's good for racing, and it's good for the little ones. Matt's a guy that, you know, if you see him in the pits, you can walk up and talk to him.
Yeah,
You know?
we try and help guys that have questions or need parts. You know, we're always there to help. And I like helping younger guys or newer guys that are just trying to get in the game, and you can tell the ones that are working hard for it and the ones that aren't. And a lot of it shows how they race people on the racetrack, so I watch that too. So there's some local guys we like helping.
So in your 22, 23 years of racing here, what would you tell them? What's a takeaway you'd tell the new guy?
There's going to be good nights and bad nights. Just keep your chin up and keep digging if you got the heart for it. It's not going to be easy.
Right. I like that. It's not going to be easy if you want to compete.
Yeah. Just maintenance your car and keep all 4 tires on it.
What?
You can't win on the first lap.
Right. Matt's not much of a Facebook guy, but Matt does have a Facebook. I think
Yeah, my wife runs that for me.
What's it? Is it
Matt Johnson 1X.
Matt Johnson 1X on Facebook? If you want to keep up with Matt, she does a pretty good job about posting where they're gonna be, and stuff like that.
She does some lives, I've seen.
Yeah, I told her quit that. It's bad luck. I thought every time she'd live me, it was fall apart the last few laps or something. But, no, she does good with it.
Well, I wish you'd let her when I can't be there. That way I can watch from somewhere.
Where are you racing next year?
Well, we're going to be at Butler for the most part. We're going to try to bounce around though. We got a new rear end, so we ain't got to wrestle a 9-inch around.
Yeah.
And
I don't miss those days at all.
I'm going to be glad to put them behind me, I think.
The price of them or the weight of them.
They make a man out of you wrestling them gears underneath that car. You got to want to go racing pretty bad to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Is there anything that maybe you want people to know? A story we missed or anything that I missed?
Just go support your local dirt track. They need us. Bring your kids, bring your friends. We need new racers. We need these tracks to keep going.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
Well, man,
Yep. Thank you.
that's all I got for you. Thanks,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
Appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure and go like and follow the page, and let's keep this thing growing. That was a good one. Only and so on like 3 times.
Thank you for.
You got me nervous, like I'm sweating and shit.
I was too.
I don't know why. You got me so nervous, like I should be more comfortable around you.
Yeah, just like we're in the John Deere store.
Right.
And now I got people
Holy
up.
cow.
Good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I got a beer in there if you want a beer.